Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about setting up Vapi AI agents to be your go-to sort of sales AI assistant. So I'm working with somebody, a close friend of mine who's running a plumbing business, and he was talking about the need for having an AI assistant who is able to pick up the phone and schedule calls when he's out on jobs or not available, and also in off hours when he has his phone off outside of the 9 to 5 sort of traditional work hours. um, Platforms like this, as well as um, internal website chat tools, are sort of the things that I could see him needing. So whenever someone stumbles upon either his website or his phone number, he needs someone there to be able to respond to any questions they have and schedule with their company. So these sort of tools, such as the one in Vapi, can help with that. So Vapi is an AI sort of voice agent platform where you could design voices to automatically, for instance, pick up the phone for you, or answer questions about your business, or schedule future calls with you or appointments onto your calendar. This is a pretty popular tool to be able to do those things, and I'll talk through what that kind of looks like. So um, throughout this platform, you'll see some different things down this build sort of column, including different assistants you could build out with different roles. So I'll talk through some of the roles you can build within here. There's a tool section for different, for instance, different platforms you could connect through this integrations sort of tool, as well as you could connect phone numbers, create this sort of voice library, connect API keys, so on and so forth, as well as you're able to track metrics on how long the calls are going, success metrics in relation to getting booked calls or booked appointments, things like that kind of pop up under these metrics sections. But just getting started here, just some of the recommended assistants you could create include a customer support specialist, a lead qualification specialist, info collection, appointment setting, care coordinator, feedback gatherer, whatever it might be. I'm a big fan of these appointment scheduler ones because there's always some sort of funnel your site you're bringing people through to be able to book appointments, which is kind of an end goal for a lot of these sort of calls that you might get. So I created the scheduler voice assistant here just as a little example. Again, I'm not really working from this platform too much under my own email, just because this is for me to kind of play around with. But just to show you what it looks like, you can choose a different model that will start to interact as your sort of assistant. So this is essentially the brain of the operation. So I like ChatGPT to be the one to answer my questions. You can choose different models between these, either previous ChatGPT models or up-to-date current GPT models, and all of them have different pricing associated with them. So that's something to keep in mind as you're setting this up. Um, Additionally, you could set up your very first message. So I just made up this sort of plumbing business, FlowRight. Thanks for calling FlowRight. This is Riley, your scheduling assistant. How may I help you? Is how they pick up the phone. And then there's this really long system prompt, which truthfully, you could start to generate using just the AI tools directly within Vapi, but I added a lot of sort of plumbing specific language in here. You want to add speech characteristics based on what you're looking for, personality, want to have general sort of conversation flow points, want to have like a scheduling process for just general points about how you want to schedule, include, and then near the bottom, you'll get to some points where it's like more so business related information. So you want to include your hours, and if I had more time, I would start to include pricing in here. Um, and this knowledge base will kind of fill up pretty fast, but you want to add as many policies and as much about your company as possible within this sort of instruction section. And there's other ways to add more information through the through tools, which I could show you later. Also by adding files here, there's tons of different ways to connect information about your company to this caller. But it's primarily done in this sort of box right here. Some other things you would definitely look at include the voice configuration. So there's a lot of different options of voices you can connect directly within Vapi, including 11 Labs, which is my favorite sort of voice assistant website. I just think they have the most human-like sort of interactions. So I'm a big fan of utilizing their voices, or even cloning your own voice within this platform is also an option. So that is what I would do with the voice configuration. You could do some additional configuration here. I don't usually play with that too much. There's transcriber tools. There's other tools, including connecting to calendars. So through this tools section here, you're able to essentially integrate it with your Google Calendar, your Outlook calendar, wherever you kind of store where you have availability for appointments. You could do that directly all within this platform. So as your caller is interacting with folks, they understand, all right, we are available at certain times tomorrow, or we're not, let's schedule for next week. So a lot of availability to connect to those directly. Additionally, you could use the tools section to connect to your CRM if you're storing all of this information somewhere, or if you want to make sure the information collected on these calls lives somewhere later. Highly recommend connecting this directly to a CRM, and I'll show you in a second. There's a ton of different integrations you can do within here. Some other things, there's just like some general summary and success evaluation sort of tools directly within this platform to see how the calls are going. Information about privacy on the calls, voicemail detection. There's a bunch of just kind of real quick boxes to change how you're interacting with folks here. And you could add it as a widget to your website. So I think that's also a very helpful tool to have. And some other things you can kind of integrate into this platform. I would definitely refer to this sort of integration section here. You could, again, 11 Labs is a really great tool to integrate, which is the voice creation sort of platform. But as you look through here, it's a very long list of different tools you could add. You could add different models, so different AI sort of brains that you could program this voice to have. Getting into some like perplexity. You have different transcription providers. Some work way better than others. So I would try out a couple of these and figure out which one usually works best, because I was trying them a lot of different ones today, and they don't all have the same amount of success. So you can connect those within here, as well as you start to get to the tool providers area, which includes the CRMs like Go High Level, or integration software like Make.com, where it can connect to other tools, right? Possibilities are endless, including Google Calendar, Google Sheets, if you need to connect to a spreadsheet of some kind. Truly could provide a ton of integrations all in this one platform, including phone numbers, so on and so forth. So really powerful tool here. And there's a lot of different ways to be creative about how much every conversation costs versus how little conversations cost. There's a lot of kind of flexible pricing within this one platform based on your needs. And the last thing I kind of wanted to come back to real quick is this widget section. So again, you could kind of add this directly to your website. So not only can, when people call your phone number, this AI assistant pick up, but if people go to your website and need to chat with someone, you could also create a widget on that website, which pops up with a text conversation, or even better, a voice conversation if they opt into that. So truly a lot of different ways you could apply this on different platforms, and it could be a great way to be your first look at any sort of incoming leads into your company. So you want to make sure that if you utilize that at this very pivotal point of trying to secure leads, you want to make sure that you do the best of your ability to make sure the voice is as strong as possible, the transcriber is as strong as possible. But once you have a really strong built out system within Vapi, the possibilities are endless, and it will save you a ton of time. So feel free to reach out to me at any time to talk about setting this up for your business, and I look forward to talking to you in the next video.